Hi. So today, instead of uh, instead of loading, you know how we did it, we've loaded texture manually from some bytes in memory. So that's somewhere in gltext image. Was it here? No, it's in the GL graphics file. We've loaded text image. And we've used manual data. Instead of that, today I will, just for tests, load a bitmap file, and I will write a small utility function which can simply load a BMP, but we will extend this function later to be more generic. So at the moment I will just temporarily, right, I will include the deal, and then I can open a file. So let's say fopen file fopen test bmp, and it's gonna be read binary. So I will accept file emp is right. So I will assert that the file is not null, and switch to smarter. Okay. I've switched to smarter, so I don't like that my Copilot is giving me recommendations in the dropdown. I like it more like this, right? And I'll just, yeah, that's it. So let's go in here, and then we need to find what the size is. So then I will return back to the beginning. That seems fine. BMP data. That's all okay, and now we need to read it. That seems fine. Fread function, so that takes fread pointer size and number of members. Reads n items of, okay. Seems fine. And then, yeah, what am I doing? Like that's not gonna be fine. So sorry. I'll just pass this into let's call it like this, bitmap. Let's rename this to BMP file. Let's use our own naming convention, BMP file. So the new naming convention, change word, BMP file, and bitmap BMP is load BMP. That looks fine. And then we will say, yeah, I will load that later. Then we can say something. Let's see what he will recommend. gltext image, BMP width, BMP height 0, glRGB, BMP data. Let's take that, but instead of this, we will have a util function or a macro. BMP be, so what's the name here? Let's see what is geotext image 2D. Says, yeah, I don't have documentation for that in here, so I'll comment this one. So we need to convert, it's basically to convert the number of channels in BMP, because I will store number of channels, into what is the name of this? That's my question, right? So let's see what's the name here. GL text image 2D. It's just as format. That's just format. Okay. So I'll call it pixel format. BMP, what I call bitmap format to pixel format, to GL pixel format. And let's just pass in the BMP pointer. Yeah, that looks fine. And of course, I want to free BMP after we've stored it. And let's do first free BMP. BMP looks okay. And what should we do here? What should we do here? What should we do here? Should we? The question is basically, should we always treat bitmaps with will they always have alignment 1? Right, we can make it like that, or we can actually specify the alignment in the bitmap surface itself. So that could be useful, right? Because usually bitmaps are aligned on a 4 byte boundary. Cool. So yeah, I guess it's fine to make a call like BMP alignment. Just that. Okay, so our structure basically needs to have all these members, and yeah, let's implement that. All right. So I guess, let me just check. So do we have all the logic here correctly defined? So we open a file. Yeah, we need to close the file. Then we have close BMP file. Actually, this can be done as soon as I load the bitmap, right? So we have opened the file. We are checking temporarily if this is, so this is only temporary code. We are checking if this is actually opened, and then we load the BMP from it, and we can also probably return 0 from this null from this one. So let's assert that. We close the file because all the data is now loaded into bitmap, and now we get the bitmap in here. We use the bitmap alignment, unpack alignment, bitmap alignment or unpack alignment, never mind, naming is always hard. And here we simply specify that we want stuff from bitmap instead of our own manual stuff here that we had. And that seems fine. Obviously, there's no functions for this. So let's split the screen again, and let's edit games Pac-Man. I'll call a file bitmap header. Create the bitmap header. And in here I need, if def bitmap again, and then find that fine, and then we here if bitmap okay, and there's also I also want to kind of allow the header to be header, but also to be to contain the definitions for our translation units. So I always have that. If not def bitmap, what is it? What is it? How do I? What was I using? That's the question. So somewhere in here. What's my naming convention for this? No defs, right? No defs. No defs. This is something that I'm new, trying completely new, so I'm not very used to it. Okay, and in here we will have, we will define first type def struct bitmap. Let's do int reader int a. Let's do an alignment. Let's do int width height int channels, non-channels, channels. Oh, I took him somewhere. And should I do anything else? No, I guess it's just void star data. And that struct is gonna be called bitmap. Okay. And okay, I need to do include. I need to include. I will not have it included, but I need stdio, so I can define a function. So the definition that I want to do here, bitmap is load bmp. Actually, let's do a bitmap. That seems much nicer. File, right? That's the load, and there's a free bitmap which is already recommended by AI. So if I mark this as A and go all the way to the top, and then I include the here, include the bitmap page, right? I should have everything now. So why is he not seeing it? GL graphics. Where did I? That's refresh, right? G. What's the refresh button here? It's capital R. Maybe it's because I did not save it yet. So let's write that down. Yeah, and now he sees it. Alright, so let's check. Yeah, there is a bitmap file here. Okay, cool. So that's basically it. Just a second. Can you hear me? Yes, you can. I thought my microphone is off again. That will be clumsy. Okay. We are here, back here. Okay. So we have our bitmap and load bitmap and free bitmap. But what I don't like, that this thing will dynamically allocate memory, right? Because it will it will need to just create some memory somewhere. And I really don't like that. So I want to give him memory. He shouldn't allocate anything himself, so I simply want to give him enough of memory up in front. Like, here's your memory for this bitmap loading, right? So let's think of something. So I like that idea of having like a memory arena. Very good. Where I have yeah, that seems fine. Where I have these variables, and if I include int here, I should be able to get. So I don't think we can ever have negative memory arena. 6040, that's yes, and I guess if there's no negative sizes of memory, so there's also no negative number of how many bytes have we used, but I'm gonna restrict myself to 4 gigabytes, right? None of my games should ever use more than 4 gigabytes. So let's do it like this. So that's a 16-byte structure now, right? So we have 2 times 8 bytes here and 8 bytes here. And that's it then, right? So we can just give it memory arena. So where are you going to allocate this stuff? And then we don't need free bitmap, right? Let's go to that mark where I had. So this is no longer needed, and this one needs memory arena, and I'm gonna give him a function to create memory. I'll extract this later. So like memory arena void, it's gonna be void initialize init what init memory arena. Should I initialize it like that? Yeah, that seems fine. That seems fine. Right, and then I can tell somewhere. Yeah, let's move this one here. P. Oh, obviously I can do that now, right? So dt like this. Okay. So that they are next to each other. So this node, right? Move this, move memory arena to a separate header file. Okay, yeah, for now it's fine. So let's go in here. So now I need to give him memory arena. Okay, and just temporarily, only temporarily, I'll allocate how many? Let's say a megabyte of RAM. And I'll put the memory is malloc. It's gonna be MIB1. It's meebobyte. Okay. And I'll init memory arena from that. Init memory arena. So I'll create a memory arena structure. Arena is null. And I'll create memory arena here. Memory arena with what's the definition? I will give him a memory and I will tell him what was the size. That's correct. Thank you. And this thing in here, I will assert. Yeah, there's some errors. I need to fix that. Obviously, save this. Go left. Go left. Define bytes n. Just return n. Right, and then we can say define keep Kuiper and yeah, cool, thank you, and define MIB and yeah, that's it, fine. Should I fine. Should I even have bytes? Yeah, that's okay. So what are you okay, so memory arena Z. I forgot to name it. Arena. Temp arena. Okay. That's gonna be its name. CTZ temp arena. Fine. And that's it. And then I give him. So memory arena load bitmap. Okay. MIB, right? B. There's a definition of MIB there, so why are you not looking at this error? Call to undeclared function unknown type memory arena. Place A, and here is call to undeclared function MIB. Am I crazy? It's maybe just some temporary hiccup. Let's see the right word. Insert MIB. It's probably gonna work now. No? Never mind. It's probably just define MIB and it's defined here, so not a function, it's a macro. Or maybe it's because this is not saved yet. Okay, so and there's also let's convert this to should I have it in here? So this function here, right, has an error. This one, right? So what's the function name? It's young word, so let's go. How do I go to the beginning of my just how do I go, you know, I'll learn that. Right, static GLenum, static inline. Now let's just be static GLenum, paste bitmap format to GL pixel format, and it's we want to pass in const bitmap BMP, and let's see bitmap format grayscale. No. GLenum result. I accept that result is GL red. Let's immediately return results so we don't forget later. And then we watch the number of channels, right? Switch BMP num channels. Okay, case 1, 2, 3. That seems all fine, and it's a switch. Change word switch. Cool. That's really not my convention of how I do things. Just think this is superficial. This doesn't need to be in there because I'm not declaring any variables, right? So I don't like that. Is there a smarter way to do this in Vim? Some stuff are really fast to do, but some stuff are really something that I will do in normal IDE quickly. In Vim it's slow, like this, right? Okay, we have that, so there's no more compilation errors here, but we need to now, make it actually work. There's one error though, that's because it's format, right? And this one, I messed this one up, so that's gonna be, I messed it because I didn't name it correctly. So stored, saved, that's it. Okay. Okay. I've got now everything. Now we need to obviously do something with the init arena. Okay, this one is initialized. So that's the function to initialize the arena. We do not free an arena, right? So we don't free it. We only initialize the memory arena with memory given to us by something else. So we never free it, but what we do, we need to get chunks of that memory arena for our memory allocation, right? And I will call this function void. It's a void pointer. He's recommending push size. That's what I want. I'm only thinking, is it a good name? I'll call it more explicitly because push size is too generic. So I'll name it push. I don't like names arena push, right? Because that's kind of a C++ way where you would have a class arena and then a method push. I like verbs, but explicit words. It's push to arena. That's gonna be push to arena. And that's it. And there's another method called pop from arena. Okay. And I will make these guys static inline, because they are really simple methods to implement and they should be inline. Let's see, result arena base plus arena used. Yeah, it's only that so the arena used is plus equals size, but we also need to check if arena used plus size greater than arena size, then we return null, right? Because we don't have enough memory. And it's this one, static inline void. If arena used less than size, yeah, arena used minus equal size. That's it. That's it. These are our. And let's again, I think it's not gonna be wrong if I do static inline. I'm not sure if I can include these static inlines in multiple functions. I can, right? Yeah, that's static inline. So if I include them in multiple translation units, it will just treat them as local functions, right? So yeah, arena size, arena used, arena base, that's it. Okay. Do we have anything? Assert size greater than 0. Assert base, not now. I guess that's what we want. Include common. Include common. Okay. And this guy here is gonna be implemented in his own. Not control V, Jesus. Sorry. So let's go there. Okay, so just load. Just load it. Okay, how do we load the function? That's how. That's a problem now, right? How do we load this thing, right? So we need to. This is kind of unique for people who don't code in C, right? Because you don't typically load files in a way how you would load them in C or even C++, or I don't know, maybe Rust or Zig. I didn't use them. But this is really, I believe, the best part of languages such as C. So it's gonna be quite easy to implement this. Sorry. But let's see how to do it. So I'll show you. It's really, really nice and easy. Let's go on to our Firefox, and I've installed it's a Vim plugin for Firefox, but I don't know how we go one tab left GT or J and go one tab right K. Okay, that seems fine. So go one tab left. Okay, one tab left, and now I can scroll with JK. I know this Vim thing, it gets under your skin. Right, so even though some stuff are kind of slower in Vim than in normal editors, it is really I can say it is really getting under my skin. Okay, so BMP file format. BMP was defined by Microsoft probably a long time ago. They are an ancient company, and it went to a series of revisions. Nowadays, it's not used so much for data exchange compared to other formats like PNG and JPEG. That's because BMP stores the data in, it's not really compressed, so they will the files in BMP files will be larger typically than PNG or JPEG. However, since there's no compression, it's actually quite easy to implement to implement it to get loaded. So we just need to read few of the Microsoft defined headers and figure out where the data is, and then just read the data into memory provided by the memory arena. So let's get to it, right? So each bitmap file will consist of, as you can see in the document here, will consist of a bitmap file header, and then after that we will have a bitmap core header, info header, v4 header, or a v5 header structure, right? It's simple. Then an optional color table. So I'm not gonna support, I'm thinking should we support color tables? Not for now. Not for now. So this is used when, as far as I have understood it, it's used for bitmaps that have palletized colors. So this can actually save us, memory, not memory, sorry, disk space in bitmap, but it's really not conventional to use bitmaps like that. It's more, most of the software will store bitmaps just as a set of RGB or RGBA values in the bitmap data here, right? And that's it, right? So I will not support files that have this. I will support obviously files that have this. So I think we can support either bitmap v4 or bitmap v5. I'll start with those two, so and then we will see if by any chance the software that I'm using for bitmaps here, and that's Sprite, is using these older headers. Then I'll support them. But for now, I'm just gonna use this bitmap v4 or bitmap v5. I think it's better maybe to implement bitmap v5 because it has everything that bitmap v4 has. Plus, yeah, everything that bitmap v4. So bitmap v4 and bitmap v5 are compatible. How do I go back? Navigating the page, go back in history, right? Okay, page. Okay. So let's start. First thing that we will need is this bitmap file header structure. And this is quite simple structure. Please note that all of these guys are in Microsoft's data format for Win32 API. So Word is 16-bit, I think unsigned. I have another page here where I can, search for Word. Next. Brief. No, next. It's probably somewhere all the way down. Yeah, Word. It's unsigned, is 16-bit value, right? So that's unsigned 16, and let's actually do it, right? So where am I? I'm gonna quit this tab, right? Not tab, and then switch to it in here. Okay, so first struct that we have, type dev struct. Should I even type dev them? I don't know. Let's try. It's just struct bitmap file header. Okay, and we have, look, the AI is already giving me. So let's see, uint16 file type, uint32 file size. So the word is uint32, then uint16 reserved 1, reserved 2, bitmap offset. That seems fine. It's one thing that we need to be very careful about. I think this structure is already aligned, but we need to, I recommend that we give it that attribute from GCC So in VS C++, it's pragma packed, and I don't know what is how to specify it in GCC. I think it's just some kind of let me see if my AI will figure it out instead of me. Attribute. Is it? Come on, AI. No, you're not of real help. So let's see what it is. I don't like it. So how do I open a new tab? Create new tab T. And what am I searching for? GCC attribute packed, right? Structure packing attribute packed. Fortunately, someone is at my door, so I need to leave. But this is how we do it. Struct attribute packed. So I'll need to end the stream now, and we'll get back to this soon.